Well, hello everybody, welcome back to some Answer on Base. I hope you're well. Today I just wanted to run over a quick product that I've used before, recently with the Eden preamp, the World Tour Pro preamp. I mentioned that I will probably rack that up in a case to be able to take it on gigs. And one product that as I said I did use before and I'm very fond of is the Gator Rackbag. So on the front we have a zippered flap, which in itself has some material in here to make it hard. And on the inside you can see the plywood here inside the bag, which is also covered with some sort of carpeted material to protect the equipment. In this case, the Eden preamp. Now, on this unit, one thing to be very careful of is that I had to remove the feet to get this in because it is a very tight 2-unit fit. And you can see on this unit, the ventilation is from the front and the rear. So as long as these flaps, front and rear, are open, you have the required ventilation. And on the back, it's got 4 robust feet and this zippered flap, so you can get to the connections on the rear. And there's a little bit of room here in this case if you wanted to leave the power cable or some connection cables in there. And you can see the ventilation, you can see that ventilation right here on the back. And you can see that there's very little room on the sides of this particular unit. Now it suits this because the ventilation is front to back. Although you could probably get away with it on the 550 head, you can see here that the ventilation is on the top and the side, and that rack bag would block this top ventilation, leave you only the side. And on the opposite side there is a fan which pushes the air through the amp across the heat sinks and out the other side. Now this is a judgment call. You could probably get away with this unless you're driving the amp really hard, because it still has some airflow, because just here you can see that the amp is not the full width of the rack, so it would have maybe 2 or 3 inches on each side for ventilation. Now on something like my GK1001RB head, the fan is right on the top of the unit and that case will block the fan, so that's not recommended. So for those kind of units that have fans on the top or on the sides and are the full width of the rack, so you've got to work out your airflow, you're better off using a sort of a hard rack like this. And what I've done with this one is I've put that grill on the top. So this is a 1-rack unit preamp in a 2-rack unit case, and I've got the grill on top for ventilation. And I've done the same with my 1001RB. I've got a 3-unit rack case. The top where the fan is a grill on the front, just so people can't put things in there like, you know, charts and sheets and handbags, whatever, to block that ventilation. So, and these of course have the front and back cover and protect the equipment very well, especially when you look at those knobs. You don't want anything smashing past those when you put it in the truck. So this unit has a big pocket on the top, so you can put all your cables in. There are some Velcro straps there, so you can strap things down so they don't roll around. As I said before, it's got some sturdy feet. And it's got this padded shoulder strap, so you can put this over your shoulder and it will allow you to carry something else with your free hand. So the one thing about these cases is they won't suit everyone, and they won't suit some bits of equipment, as I mentioned. You've got to take care with the ventilation, because even in a 2-unit hard shell rack case, there's a gap at the top and the bottom of the unit, which may be enough for the cooling. On this one, there's no gap at the top and the bottom. You may get a little bit on the sides, but it's quite tight fitting. So if your cooling requirements are top to bottom on the side, you are better off with the hard case rack. Just make sure it's got adequate ventilation for your equipment. Very, very, very important. As I said, with these Eden units, even with the ones with the amp in them, the cooling is from the front and out the back. So as long as those flaps are open, there is no problem. There are no vents on the side to block. So as a rule of thumb, if there's a vent there, it's there for a purpose. Don't block it. Let the air flow through and your gear will last a long time. One thing I saw today that I found interesting on their website was the Retro Vibe series, which is a wooden case covered with Tolex, which comes in seafoam green and tweed and black. And on the front there is a dust cover that velcros in, I think, and that's like the sort of almost like the cloth from an Ampeg or Silverface Fender or something, cloth on it, so it's got that vintage look. But of course you can put modern gear in there, so if you're looking for that retro funky look, check those out. They really look like a lot of fun. So in any case, once again, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Stay well, stay healthy, keep making music, keep playing bass, be nice to each other, God bless, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care.